Hello, Cancer. Welcome to Intuitive Gems. My name is Desiree, and I'm a little out of breath because I was running around trying to get everything situated, and then as things happen, my son had stuff going on with school and so forth. But here we are. So, welcome to Intuitive Gems. My name is Desiree, and I will be doing your money, wealth, finance, prosperity, abundance reading for the month of January 2021. We're moving into a new year that's very, very exciting. I'm already starting to feel the tingles for you, Cancer. So if this is your first time catching one of my videos, I do want to say welcome, and I invite you to subscribe because I do these readings each and every month, and I would love to share your money message with you. For the readings this month, I'll be using my Morgan Greer Tarot deck. I will clarify with my Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot deck, and then Cancer, we will close out your reading with a Threads of Fate Oracle card. So like I said, I'm already starting to feel excitement for you, Cancer. So let's see what shows up for you as we move into this new year and a new month. What do we need to know for the sign of Cancer as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance? All right. Cancer, all I have to say is huge breakthroughs are coming, and you are going to feel, you're going to feel a little anxious as it relates to your money, but at the same time, I think it's more of you being overly cautious. Not that you're being, so tight-fisted because you're actually losing money, but from what I see already here, it's like you feel it's like you're just being overly protective of your money, overly cautious. You're not taking any risks. You're trying to just be as secure as you possibly can be at this time, and that's, I think that's normal. A lot of us are feeling that way. So as we move into this first month of January, first month, first month of the new year, first week of the new month. As we move into this first week of January, like I said, I'm getting the sense that you really will, you're going to be in a good position. You're going to have a lot of options, but at the same time, again, because you're being a little overly cautious, you may not necessarily make some big moves right away. Now we have the Nine of Swords in reverse, World card reverse, Four of Pentacles, Empress, Seven of Cups, Queen of Cups, all in the upright. This Nine of Swords in the reverse is a very good card. It means you're breaking through of limiting beliefs, releasing, mental blocks, emotional blocks, even some spiritual blocks that may have been holding you back. It looks like you have a very renewed sense of energy as we move into the new year because, Cancer, you're very hopeful. You're very optimistic about your money. You're very optimistic about the financial, changes that are coming your way. And I can see here very much so you've done the work, and now it's time for things to really, really blossom and take shape for you, especially financially. Now we have the World card in the reverse, which means you got the right attitude to just kind of sit tight, because this means that something is still incomplete. Something is not finished. Something is still in the process of moving forward. And you're going to have to be very patient until that works itself out. We've already talked about you being a little overly cautious with your money. And again, I think that's a fair, choice to make considering, the times we're in. But we have some exciting things showing up for you. We have the Empress card. This is that maternal, feminine energy. This is also when you have planted the seed, and now you have to literally step back and let nature take its course. So it's the same when it comes to your money. If you've done everything that you can to prepare yourself, to set yourself up for success, you get to a point eventually where you can only wait and see. You can only allow things to develop in their own timing. Now, I talked about this Seven of Cups, where you're going to have a lot of opportunities presented to you. Not all of them are going to be your right fit. Not all of them are going to be exciting, but there's going to be a couple of hidden gems in there that really will take your income to the next level. Now, this could be a new job, a new business, could be a new partnership, maybe. And I had this happen to me. Excuse me. I want to share this because I know sometimes things show up and we don't think that they're actually the things that we want. Now, I'm in the process of setting up a retail aspect to my business. And I wasn't even sure I was interested in that. But suddenly things just start popping up and things just start falling into place. You know, like I stumbled upon a YouTube video the other day where a girl was showing how she sets up her business and how she stores her inventory and things like that. And it wasn't something I'd been actively searching, you know. Now, of course, it could be the YouTube algorithm, of course. But at the same time, it just really shows me that, you know, I'm already starting to put it out there and things are starting to happen to support that idea. So just pay attention to what shows up. It may be something that you deliberately set out to find, but it could also be something that shows up for you in a very unfamiliar way or something that you just were not even thinking about. But then when you see it, you're like, wow, this resonates. This is it. Finally, we have the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups, she's all about being emotionally available. The other thing about the Queen of Cups is sometimes she can be a little bit too overly sensitive, or sometimes she could be really insensitive. I'm getting the sense from this card here that, you know, Cancer, you're going to have to really pay attention to your emotions and trust that the way you feel about money, about finances, about your work, your career, your business, your investments, whatever it may be, trust that those feelings are genuine and that they're really going to take you to that next level. Okay, so the other thing about emotions is sometimes they can get in the way. But in this case, because she's in the upright position, I feel that this is a very valid emotional aspect that you're going to be feeling as we move into this first week of January. You know, you're going to really, like I said, trust your emotions because they're giving you some really good feedback to help you make some really good, strong decisions. All right, Cancer. So far, things are looking really, really good. What else do we need to know? For the sign of Cancer, as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of January 2021. Okay, so for those of you who do have a job, I have to say there's going to be some changes happening in your work environment, okay? Now, because we have the King of Rods, this is also the Queen of Wands here. The King of Wands is usually representative of someone in your workplace, especially in the context of these readings that I'm doing here. If you have a job, just look for changes to kind of be very, very disruptive in your workplace. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to get fired or lose a job or anything like that, but it's changes that are very unsettling, or it could be something that's very uncomfortable. The other thing about this card, too, is that it means there's changes going on with the higher levels in your organization. Could be management, a change, someone gets fired, maybe they rearrange, reassign responsibilities, something like that. Now, for those of you that don't have a job, you know, you're either self-employed or you have a business or you're an investor or you're a stay-at-home mom or a student, whatever the case may be. When this card shows up, The other angle that we can look at it is that there's going to be some big changes in whatever it is, the environment and the structure of how you bring in your income. Now, again, this doesn't talk about a loss. This just talks about a disruptive change. And like I said, it could be something very uncomfortable. It could be maybe a change of the rules, maybe a change in the industry that you're in. It's just something that really shakes things up. And sometimes it's so uncomfortable, you think that it's a negative setback. But in reality, and I can tell you that because of the other cards that are following here, this is just something that needs to happen in order for you to increase your awareness. Sometimes we get stagnant in our thinking, and sometimes we get stuck in old habits and old patterns. And this is a new, it's like a new opportunity for you to do something different in your business or in your work. And it's really going to carry you and allow you to shine. Now we have the Queen of Wands here. Now the Queen of Wands talks about ultimate stability. Now the other thing about her too is that it means that things happen in the right way and the right timing. And you don't really have to force it. When it comes to your money, you have to trust that the processes that are in place in order for you to make money, create work, or make a sale, find new customers, find new clients, whatever the process is that you're following, you have to trust that that process and those routines are very, very solid. Now, the other thing about the Queen of Wands is that she's someone who really rests in her position. She also rests on her own authority, meaning you have to be very, very confident that what you do is what you do, and you're doing it in the right way and in the right timing and in the right fashion with the right people. It's one of those things where you just have confidence in what you do and you trust your ability to bring in the money that you desire. You also trust your ability to make things happen. If something is slow, you figure out a way to fix it because you're totally competent, you're totally, knowledgeable, and it's just that real solid strength that comes through with the Queen of Wands. Now we also have the Two of Pentacles here, and it's interesting that he fell on the Four of Pentacles. Again, this is you being overly cautious, Cancer, when it comes to your money. You're not doing anything frivolous. You're not wasting money. You're being very careful with the budget. That's definitely going to serve you well because the cards are telling me that's definitely the right course of action to take once we hit the second week of January. Next, we have the Four of Swords. Four of Swords talks about taking a step back. We don't always have to be so active. We don't always have to do. Sometimes we have to do, and then we have to step back. And again, because this fell onto that Empress card, this is telling me that you don't want to force anything. Take your time, trust in the process, and trust in the timing. When it comes to your money, sometimes the hardest thing to do is nothing, but that's exactly what you have to do for the time being. In other words, you can't force sales to happen. You can't force customers to come into your business. I mean, I guess you could, but that's not really what you want to do. You have to trust that you are in alignment and that you are an open vessel for the money that you want and that things are on their way to you. Okay? You just have to allow it to be. Next, we have the Four of Cups. Now, the Four of Cups talks about opportunities showing up, but not all the opportunities that show up, like we talked about here, are going to be that exciting. But you have to, again, pay attention because there's going to be a nugget in there somewhere that's going to allow you to really take off and really explode financially, really grow exponentially. Well, whatever it is you're trying to do, pay attention to the offers that come your way because there's something in there that's not going to be that exciting, but it's going to be something that you can really manipulate to your own advantage. There's going to be something where you can really capitalize off of an opportunity that people see as something negative. I hope that makes sense because I'm getting that very clearly. It's like there's going to be something, either someone has a conversation with you or someone, gives you some old books to sell. And then next thing you know, one of those old books is worth thousands of dollars. It's one of those things where it doesn't look that exciting at first. But if you just go ahead and accept whatever it is, there's going to be a gem in there somewhere. All right, let's see what's going on as we move through the second half of the month. For Cancer, As it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of January 2021. All right, so we do have a repeater card here, that Four of Swords. But let's talk about what's going on here. Again, I'm getting this Three of Pentacles in the reverse. Again, confirming that there's going to be changes in your workplace, okay? For those of you who are employed, pay attention to what happens in the month of January. Some big changes are coming. And like I said, they're going to be disruptive changes. It may or may not affect you directly, but it's still going to be a very, it's going to be a big shakeup as it relates to the organization or the company as a whole. Now, this is going to be something that you are going to be able to ride out very easily. But at the same time, you're going to feel all these changes affecting you, and it's going to cause you a little bit of concern maybe about your money and about your income. But from what I'm seeing here, you don't have to worry about that, okay? And again, for those of you who don't have jobs, just know that things are going to shake up for you too. As it relates to how your money comes in. Now, this is not saying that you're going to lose money or money's going to be taken away. Nothing of the sort. But sometimes things happen and changes happen. And it's our reaction to big changes that really determines how it's going to affect us. And if it's going to be something that, costs us, or maybe there's a way we can profit from these changes too. We also have the Seven of Cups. Did we have this one earlier? Oh, yes, we did. Seven of Cups here again. Talking about opportunities coming your way. You're going to have a lot of options being presented to you. The thing about the Seven of Cups being in reverse, though, is that it talks about there's a time aspect to some of these opportunities. And if you don't act very quickly, you will miss out. So if something strikes you once we hit the second half of January, if an opportunity or a job or something shows up for you, don't waste time, because it looks like you could miss out if you don't act quickly. Next, we have the King of Pentacles. This talks about financial literacy. This talks about asking more questions, doing more research, and not just blindly moving forward without having all the information you need. Now, when it comes to business, when it comes to money, when it comes to investments, or even your career, there's always more to learn. Don't assume that you know everything you need to know, because we've all heard the saying, you don't know what you don't know. And very clearly, this card is telling us to pay attention to new information. Industries are changing, things are happening. There's always more to learn. So let's make sure we take the time and we put in our due diligence and do our homework when it comes to anything money related, especially once we hit the second half of January. Next, we got the Ten of Wands here. These two cards are actually very good, because the Ten of Wands talks about letting go of unnecessary burdens, also not taking on too much, and really having some boundaries for yourself. You're not getting burnt out. You're not overworking. You're not overstressing. This is really, really good. And the Four of Swords, again, talks about retreat, withdrawal, stepping back, allowing things to happen in their own timing and in their own way. This is very, very good for those of you who kind of have really mastered the art of working smart and not working hard. And I know I've been on both sides of that. I worked hard for many, many years before I was able to work smart. And I think that's what you're coming into at this time, Cancer. You're really starting to work smarter and not necessarily harder. All right. Like I said, Cancer, this is really, really good. So what else do we need to know for the sign of Cancer? As it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance. All right, Cancer. So as we close out the month of January, I need you to get ready because things start happening very, very quickly for you, okay? We have this Knight of Swords here. This is the card of momentum. This is the card of fast-moving progress, progressive energy, okay? And that one smacks center, so that's really coming out to me as I look at this. But let's start here with the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is a beautiful reconnection with someone from your past. Now, this is also going to have some type of a financial benefit as well, because the context of this reading is all about money, and it's all about your finances and your abundance and your prosperity. So you are going to reconnect with someone or something, and it's going to benefit you in a financial way. Now, this could be an ex, this could be an old customer, an old client, an old partner, maybe an old work colleague, whatever the case may be. There's definitely a financial benefit in that reconnection. This happens roughly in that last week of January, so make sure you check those emails and answer those text messages, because someone probably will be reaching out. Next, we have the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is my favorite card in the deck. Now, I know she's upside down here, but in my opinion, because this is my favorite card, this is the card that I always use to signify me in a reading. But the Nine of Pentacles talks about that luxury energy. It's that exquisite, luxurious, financial energy, high-end, everything about upscale living, anything that pertains to that is what this card represents. Now, because she's in the reverse, it doesn't mean you're not going to have that upscale penthouse or that private jet if that's what you're going for. But it does mean that you just have to be a little careful. Right? I mean, yeah, maybe you can spend, $10,000, $20,000 on a new Birkin bag, but is that really the smartest thing for you to do right now? So it's just about, it's about being responsible in your money choices. Now, this is not to say you can't have the luxury bag, because of course you will have it if you want it, and in some way, shape, or form it will show up for you. But at the same time, if we have responsibilities and we have financial obligations, we need to make sure those are taken care of first before we indulge in the other things that will definitely set our hearts on fire. And like I said, we have the Knight of Swords here. This talks about speed. And the other thing I want to point out about this Knight of Swords is that, he's a mover. He's a shaker. He's someone that doesn't waste time. He comes through and then he's gone, right? So this is the energy we need to be paying attention to. When you have this reconnection, when you make responsible money decisions, when you are in that, you will have a sense that there's no time to waste here, and you will have a sense that, okay, I better act now. You have to trust yourself, and you have to know that, things move very swiftly, and you want to be on board for when things swift and turn for you in your direction. Okay, so just pay attention to the timing of things as we move into this last week of January, because like I said, things are going to start moving very, very quickly for you. Next, we have the Hangman and the Four of Cups. The Hangman talks about sometimes being stuck, not physically stuck, but maybe mentally stuck, maybe emotionally stuck, and not really having a clear direction of where you want to go. This happens to all of us, as we progress in our lives and as we move forward towards the things that we want. Sometimes we get a little overwhelmed and we don't know what to do. So I just want you to know that it's going to be okay. Take your time. Don't feel obligated to act out of haste or anxiousness. That's the big message that's coming through here. Because this card fell on the Ten of Wands, and that's you not being overstressed and overworked, okay? So if you feel a little stuck or maybe don't know where to go, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to do more research. Do what you need to do in order to confidently move forward by taking the next step. Finally, the Four of Cups. I think this is a repeater. Yes, it is. The Four of Cups is, again, The hidden opportunity. Again, something's not that exciting. Something may not sound that great, but you're going to have to do a little digging and see what the opportunity is for a reward here, a financial reward. There's definitely a payoff by you doing something that doesn't sound that attractive in the beginning. You've gotten that message several times throughout the month or throughout the reading, Cancer. So just pay attention. If someone says, hey, I'll pay you, $200, to come unload, my garage or something like that, and then you take all the junk and then you find the junk is worth thousands of dollars. I'm just using that as an example, but I think you know what I mean. All right, Cancer, like I said, you've got a pretty exciting month here. I hope you're ready because the energy definitely is moving quickly for you. And you have a lot of opportunity, a lot of good opportunities showing up for you, especially as we close out the month of January. All right, so let's go ahead and pull a card from my Threads of Fate Oracle deck. This is a gorgeous deck. I don't know if you can see the gold foil on the back there. Wow. So the card I got for you is Movement. And again, you can see the gold foil. And I think this basically just reaffirms everything we talked about, especially with this Knight of Swords. I told you this is the card that talks about that fast-moving energy, movement. So, if you feel like it's time to move, make a move. If you don't, Cancer, don't be afraid to say, hey, I need to do more research. I need to ask more questions, whatever it is. But movement is definitely going to be something that really works its way into your experience throughout the month of January. All right, Cancer, I hope you enjoyed this reading and I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, drop them down below. And I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. We'll do it all again next month.